So I'm going to call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone, to the April meeting of Solano County Democratic Central Committee. And it's nice to see you. I'm Margie Olson, the chair of the committee. I'd like to welcome and recognize the guests. Are there guests here today?
If there are any guests here, could you please raise your hand for the chair to recognize you?
Use the hand raise feature. Well,
I don't see any, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Timothy Knox is here. I wrote him down. I saw him.
Yes. Hi, Timothy. Maybe he's not.
Hello, how's everyone going?
Oh, there he is. Welcome.
Oh,
Madam Chair, shall I launch the sign-in poll?
Yes.
Okay.
So are we still doing our sign-in poll?
Yeah, we're still getting people clicking.
I guess we could say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hold on.
We could say it without the. Well, it's nice to have the flag. I'll wait a minute.
Okay, I'll end the poll now.
Thank you. And we'll move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. I guess first, welcome back, Miguel. That's so nice to have you back. I'm glad you're feeling better. Are we ready for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, ma'am. Give me just one moment to get the slide up. And PowerPoint's taking a little time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
someday.
Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
So moving on. Did everyone have a chance to look at the agenda, April 28th agenda? Um, Is there a move to approve the agenda?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda. All in favor? Did we get that poll?
The poll is running.
Okay. Thank you.
In a minute, I'm going to end the poll. If anyone else needs to vote. Okay. Yeah, it passes. Jeanette, there were 25 people that voted yay.
Make that 26. I didn't get a chance to cast it, but 26.
Oh, do you want me to not make you a co-host?
No, that's fine. I'll just do
Okay.
a verbal. Thank you.
Okay. It's recorded.
Moving on to the March 24th minutes.
I motion to approve the March 24th, 2021 minutes.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes. Next, we'll be moving to public comment after the poll is closed. And if you would like to make a public comment, could you use the hand raise feature?
Okay. There are 24 people who have voted. So I think that's what we had. And then Tiffany.
25. Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Passes.
minutes have been approved. Thank you. So I don't see any hands for public comment. Vice chairs, do you see anyone?
No, I don't see any hands, Madam Chair. I don't see any comments or requests in the chat either.
Okay, well, we'll move on to our reports. And for the executive board, first I want to announce the results of the statewide election for party chair and officers. I know we sent these to you, but I'll read them anyway. Rusty Hicks, chair. Vice chair is Betty Yee and David Campos. Secretary, Menahat Rafi. Controller, April Villaret. And here in Region 2, Lynette Henley will be our regional director. And I want to say that we have really been fortunate to have all the candidates come before us in the last few meetings and give us inspirational messages. And I'm very proud to be a Democrat from seeing all of them. We have wonderful candidates. And speaking of inspirational messages, the rally up was really amazing. I hope everybody here was able to go. If you didn't see it, there is a way to see it if you go online. So one of the things that one of the speakers said is, "We are Democrats and we are the good guys." And I just want to remind everybody, we are the good guys, and we want to have good meetings and good rapport among each other, and good rapport out, present a good face. And we had a problem with some negative messages, and I really don't want to see any negative campaigning against Democrats. And I would like you to refrain from negative comments against each other. We have to consider the big picture. We had a problem this month with a message inappropriately appearing on our letterhead with some misleading information. And we were able to contact the organization to take down the message and take down any use of our letterhead. And I want you all to remember, going forward, it is illegal to use our letterhead. This is for the Central Committee. This evening, we're going to close in remembrance of the Holocaust. And Matthew Finkelstein is going to say a few words about that when he is giving his club report. So I hope everyone will indulge him in a couple extra minutes when the Jewish Democratic Club makes their report. A week ago, we had a vigil in memory of George Floyd and all that have been lost to police violence. And we have to, as the message from our Democratic chair, we have to do better. We can't have this continue. So now we're going to move on to our other reports. And I'm going to ask you, would you please refrain from making comments and asking questions until all the reports are over. If you have a question, I'd like you to put it in the chat, and or a comment in the chat, and the vice chairs will monitor that. If you have a motion and need to be recognized, use the hand raise feature, and hopefully the meeting will go a little faster than the last couple of months. Okay, officers' reports.
So Madam Chair, everybody gets 2 minutes for their reports unless we vote to extend.
Okay.
Okay, except for you when you give your report, because you're kind of covering the whole world right now.
Thank you. Southern Vice Chair, do you have a report?
My report will be included within the fundraising report, Madam Chair, so you can move on to the next one.
All right, and Northern Vice Chair, same thing.
Yes, the same here.
Secretary, do you have a report?
I will just say, I really want to be able to send reports out in a timely fashion. So I did better this time, except the one that I just sent, 10 minutes before the meeting with the AB 20 information. So especially when our meeting is on Wednesday, we have city council on Tuesday. And last night, we started our closed session at 1 a.m. So it was a 7-hour meeting, which is crazy. So on Tuesdays, and Mondays, I'm really getting ready for that. So that's why I really like to have things on Sunday. So, but I was really happy with the fundraising, and we'll hear more about that later. Thanks.
Okay, treasurer? Anything to it? Good with the order?
Madam Chair, is the treasurer on? I don't see him.
I don't know, but
You know,
last
I
time
had
I did-
emailed him and he said that he was in San Francisco. I think he had a conflict, another meeting.
Okay.
He's on the Human Relations Commission's meeting right now.
Okay.
Okay, so let's remember to come back to him.
Well, he sent a written report, so we have a written report.
Okay, we'll look at the written report. Parliamentarian, do you have anything as parliamentarian?
Report, the bylaws committee still needs, well, I do have something. The bylaws committee needs to meet again. There are a couple of outstanding items that I think we still need to finish. And also, I'm not sure if bylaws are on the agenda tonight, are they? Because we had to present last month. Okay, and then we'll vote. So when we get to the bylaws, then we'll talk about it there.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, information officer. Do you have any report tonight?
Yes, just a quick word. Our website has seen a lot of traffic lately. I think that's probably because of the Rally Up fundraiser and stuff. And so we're going to be putting some more content out there. If you would like to have anything highlighted, please send it to the chair and she can send it on, because the voice of this party is the chair and she controls what goes onto the website. So please make sure to at least CC her so I can make sure that it's cleared. And that's about it. Everything else I think is going okay.
Okay, so ex officio reports. Do we have a report for Congressman Garamendi?
Madam Chair, do we have a representative from Garamendi currently?
We do.
It's Jana Modena.
I don't see Jana on the call. So if she shows up, then maybe we'll make some time for her.
Okay, Miguel for Senator
Yay.
Congressman Thompson.
Hey, Miguel.
And he did send a written report. Want to say anything, Miguel?
I don't know if his technology is working.
Yeah,
It looks like it's just a
Well, he
video.
did send a written report. It's
Yeah.
a very detailed report, so thank you. Well,
I think he is on camera, but we do have one caller, but I cannot unmute them.
okay.
Do you mean the phone number?
Hi, this
Nope.
is Carriage on the phone. I can't log in, but I'm not Garamendi. I think that's who you were asking for.
Oh, okay.
But I'm locked out right now. So
Okay.
I
Well, do
don't
we have
see
a
Miguel. He doesn't have a microphone.
Oh, okay. Well, he may not be up to speaking in public right now, but we do have his report. And let us know if you want to speak later, Miguel. Do we have a report from Senator Dodd or any of the assembly?
So that would be Deborah Dixon for Senator Dodd, and who else? And I don't see her. And
They're
then-
not present, so.
Okay, and who is the other person?
Jerry Castellano for Aguiar Curry.
Is
Yeah,
Jerry
not
here?
present. No,
Okay.
Jerry's not here. Moving right along.
Moving right along.
But we do have Jonathan now for Fraser because we didn't have that before.
Yay,
And Norman is also here for Tim Grayson.
great.
So
Jonathan?
Jonathan,
Madam Chair, I spoke with Assemblyman Grayson's office, but they didn't have anything they wanted to report.
oh,
So no report.
all right, thank you, Norman. And for Fraser? I think he was just named today, maybe he doesn't.
He is no longer on the call.
Oh, all right. Does any of our supervisors have a report? Representative for Aaron or Monica? And I know there's elected officials here tonight. I don't know if any of you have anything you'd like to tell us?
And Madam Chair, who are those elected officials?
Wanda or well, Jeanette just told us she met.
John Fox. John Fox would be one as well.
John.
So
Ask them to step up if they.
Tiffany, we can't hear who you're saying.
I was saying Kelly Welsh is present as well. To elected officials, so I was just trying to skim
Yeah.
the list.
I just want to make sure
You
that we
want a
recognize
city, you
them.
want a city report? Is that what you're looking
Yeah,
for?
if you would like to tell us what's going on and what you're working on.
Well, there's quite a few things going on. We're definitely working very aggressively to bring economic development into the city of Suisun City. We have quite a few different projects in our pipeline, including affordable housing. This is also one of the elements that we've been working on, and just bringing different businesses. We have 2 logistics centers that are in the EIR process at this time. So we still have a little bit ways to go with those 2 things, but by bringing those logistics centers, there's a strong probability to bring up to approximately 300 jobs into the area. So it's very, very promising. And so we're hopeful for that to happen. Additionally, this weekend, well, I should say last Friday, we had Free Food Solano in partnership with my office, as well as Rotary and First Christian Church in Suisun City. We actually passed out 1,000 boxes of food. It was awesome. We had 300 cars actually come through, and we're getting ready to plan for May's distribution as well. And then a project I've been working on to help address urban decay in Suisun City, and that's Suisun City Adopted Neighborhood. We had our soft launch where we do beautification projects in the city. So those are just a couple of things. Mayor Wilson has a Suisun City Clean Team that focus primarily on major streets, and they clean up debris there. So we're all working in unison to improve the livability and quality of life here in Suisun City. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, that was your 2 minutes and you did it.
That was great. All right, well, moving to club reports. Northern Solano,
Madam Chair, we have Councilwoman Wiley. Did she want to speak? And we also have a school board member. I think she's school board.
Kelly Rose and John
Kelly, yeah.
We can't hear you, Tiffany.
at all?
A little bit. We hear you like this, like you're whispering.
That's unusual. I'm loud. I was like, we have John Fox as well as Kelly.
So why don't we call on them by name and then we can quickly move through this.
All right, John Fox, do you want to say anything what you're working on?
Yes, good evening, everyone. So reporting out for the Vallejo City Unified School District as a trustee. Our last meeting, we had our oversight committee present on Measure S. Measure S is our bond implementation. We're about ready to pull our second bond, excuse me, disbursement. And we talked about how the projects are going and how the interest rates are so low, and that's actually benefiting us greatly because we will have more money to work with. Also with matching funds that we can apply for within the next few years. Also, we had a proclamation against Asian hate, which we all read parts of it. So I'm proud we did that. We also, I'm on the county board of Solano County Board of Educators, school educators. We had meetings on equity. So we just had our second one with Nicole Anderson, and it's gone very well. We've had city council and other members of the community throughout Solano attend the equity workshops. We have one more to meet with her next month, and we're looking at promoting more equity workshops to continue since it's so important. Also, we're talking about our summer school and intervention programs with all the extra money we're getting to help with the loss that our children, our students have had, and how to make it look to go towards next year, maybe extend the school year by 15 days we're looking at perhaps, and other things we're looking at to just try to help with students that are behind. I think that's it for my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly Walsh from Vacaville Unified.
Hi, everybody. It's Kelly. Yeah, I've also been attending the equity sessions that the Solano School Board Association has been putting on, and they've been really great. What else is going on in Vacaville? We're mostly just focused on getting the kids back to school and trying to figure out what we're going to do with all this extra COVID money that we've gotten. So we're working on our LCAP plan and just trying to figure out where the most need is and what we can do with the extra COVID funds. So yeah, if anyone has any great ideas, please let me know. That's it.
Thank you, Kelly. And Jeanette, do you want to talk about City Council, Vacaville?
I'll just say briefly, you know, most of us are new and there's been so many big issues. So we talked quite a bit last night about cannabis and bringing some cannabis to Vacaville. And I know that Fairfield's been dealing with that and they're a couple steps ahead. And I think Vallejo is as well. And even Dixon also has a cannabis thing. A big thing is Lagoon Valley, and you know, that's been around for over 20 years, but it's back. And so we're trying, you know, we've just been on the council, but the previous councils to us approved it, you know, 20 years ago, and other people extended it. So we're trying to make decisions, and it's a really hot button for the community. And then we have a new Parks and Rec master plan, which is good because we haven't updated our parks and we need to work on that. And then we have all the police issues. If you've watched the news, you've seen the Vacaville PD beating the dog and beating the autistic kid and doing all these other things. So it's been big issues with police. And we have a place of peace proclamation. So we really have to make that a reality, not just a piece of paper. And so we had so many hours of public comment, which is good. I'm glad people are involved, but it makes for like really long meetings. And just this past weekend, some people from the Vacaville People's Forum organized a BU event for special needs and adults with disabilities or different kinds of needs. And it was really well done. And the superintendent and Kelly and Michael Kitses and some other board members were also there. So it was a really good partnership with the city and other people recognizing special needs and people of all abilities. And we've also participated in the equity thing with Nicole Anderson, and we're going to do that also with our city council as well. So lots of stuff going on. And if you have any solutions, give me a call. So that's mine.
All right, thank you. All right, now moving on to club reports. Northern Solano Democratic Club.
We've submitted a report in writing. I will add to that we have confirmed that Congressman Garamendi will be our guest at our Cooking with Alice event on May 22nd. The details will be sent to the Central Committee as soon as we work them out.
Okay, thank you. United Democrats of Southern Solano.
Hi, we submitted a written report.
Okay. Progressive Democrats of Benicia.
Hi, this is Carrie. We submitted a written report, but I would like to just take a moment to talk about our podcast series that we have been issuing. We're a sponsor of a young journalist, Andrew Kelly from Benicia. Pat Todd-Smith, you're on the line. Did you want to give some specifics to that for Progressive Dems?
I just needed to unmute here, but yeah, we started it about 2 months ago, and we're trying to do about 2 podcasts a month. We have a recall effort going on right now for 2 school board members, and we had one of the school board members on the podcast. The second guest we had was Nimat, who is part of Benicia Black Lives Matter, and she gave a real extensive report about white privilege in Benicia and what she viewed as some behaviors that were, bordering on racism. And she also talked about the 3%ers that are in the Solano County Police Force. So those, I urge you all, it's called Kelly Young Voter Report. And you can go on YouTube and just put it in, and you can see her podcast and any of the other podcasts. We've also had Steve Young on, who also talked about that issue in Benicia. We now have a specific person who, and Carrie might want to talk more about it, who will be a representative in our city to help us with our issues with white privilege. And we also have issues with affordable housing, and Steve Young talked about that. The last speaker was just today. His name was Andrew Sotos. I haven't posted anything about it yet, but he explores gun violence in Richmond and what they have done about that there. And he also talks about a lot of issues with the white supremacy. So please tune in, and Carrie will be sharing the links so you all can stay tuned, because it does involve a lot of your different districts. So thank you.
That's it from Progressive Dems.
Thank you. Stonewall Democratic Club of Solano County.
Yes, hi. We have been on a little bit of a hiatus, but we are meeting next week. We meet, our bylaws call for us to meet quarterly, and we've been polling our members to see what they want to do, but we now have some action items that will be taken care of.
Okay, thank you. Community Democratic Club.
I don't see Rhonda. I know she's in the,
No.
I know Rhonda's in another meeting, and I don't see Calvin. Move on.
Rio Vista Democratic Club.
She's trying to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, hi. We had our meeting last month, in which the main topic was policing and racial justice. Our next meeting, our meetings are the second Wednesday of every month, and our next meeting is going to have a special guest, the new police chief of Rio Vista. His name is John Mazer, I believe his name is.
Okay, Solano Democratic Workers Alliance. Their report.
Good evening. Yeah, so we met this last Monday, this past Monday, excuse me, and a report was submitted.
Okay. Jewish Democratic Club of Solano County.
Thank you. I'd like to request a little bit of extra time, a minute and a half. I may see the rest of it, but I might need it.
So you want to do 3.5 minutes, Matthew?
I can't imagine needing more than that.
Okay. Okay. Whenever you start, I start.
Do we need a poll to approve that?
No.
Okay. To begin with, I want to talk a little bit about Yom HaShoah. Yom HaShoah is an annual event that remembers both the victims and the heroes of the Holocaust. Our club chose to do this because there was no representative event for Yom HaShoah this year, mostly because of the pandemic. I want to describe the event before I tell you about like Yom HaShoah. And that is to say that it was a beautiful occasion. We had a diverse gathering of Jews from across the political spectrum and religious spectrum in Solano County. We recited poetry. We heard from the president of the Congregation of Bnei Israel. We heard from the rabbi at Chabad in Vacaville. We also had attendees that included representatives from California Young Democrats, as well as California Young Democrats Jewish Caucus. That would be Hannah Hunley. Don Lowry was also in attendance, and other members of the Democratic community here in Solano. So Yom HaShoah, the reason that this day exists is because the narrative of the Holocaust was not attaching in Israel. It was difficult for Israelis to understand themselves as victims. And of all people, you would think that Jews would seek to remember it. But the reason that they weren't connecting with the narrative of the Holocaust, that Holocaust education was very low, is because most of the Holocaust education centered Jews as victims. And the problem is that as Jews, we don't understand ourselves as victims. And so Ben-Gurion knew that we had to reimagine the Holocaust. And to do that, we had to understand ourselves as the people who survived the most articulated industrial genocide of the century. And we didn't do that by coincidence. We did that because we were resilient. We did that because we were creative. We did that because we cared for one another. The Jewish people are an ancient and storied people. And the trials that we have faced for these thousands of years have been non-trivial. But at the same time, the meaning and the purpose that we bring into the world far supersede all of the trials and tribulations that we have experienced. There is no word in the Hebrew for tragedy, and we do not understand ourselves as victims. We concluded the event by singing Tikva, which is the Hebrew for hope and the national anthem of Israel. Here at the Jewish Democrats of Solano County, we intend to continue the legacy of bringing meaning into the world that transcends the tribulations, the trials, and the tragedies that we endure with the help of the Solano County Democratic Central Committee. Thank you.
Matthew, did you have thank you for that great presentation, and I know Margie will follow up. Did you have anything that you wanted to report in addition from your club?
We did not meet this month. We did the event instead.
Okay, Margie?
Madam Chair, you're muted.
We'll be journeying this evening in solidarity with our Jewish siblings in Solano County and across the world who recently commemorated Yom HaShoah. On this day, Jews and allies remember not just the victims of the Holocaust, but those who fought, resisted, survived, and saved others. May the spirit of resistance commence in all our hearts, as well as when we say never again. So moving on to committee reports, bylaw report, Lynette.
Okay, so last month you were, Tom, do you have those or do you have them as a poll? You're on mute.
Darn thing. Yes, I have them as a poll as well as I also have them to display, I believe. What, you talking about the minutes?
Say that again.
You talking about the minutes for
No, I think everybody received them last month. We're really on behalf of the bylaws committee, we're ready to vote. So if you, I don't know if you did them as a group or individually.
there are multiple questions.
Okay, cool.
On one poll. So do we need to show them and have a motion?
The motion has already been forwarded. You just took 2 readings. So we moved it last meeting. So we're at the vote. So if you could just display the poll, we're ready to go. Unless there are questions, I mean, I'm willing to take questions. If you want to go ahead and just display the poll, but don't start it. Can you do that?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
But I can display the minutes, which has the full text.
Okay.
I mean, because if you recall, the poll has a limit on text, so I can only put like a certain amount to point people to what it is.
Fine.
Yeah, so let me just bring that doc up.
So this is going to take more than 2 minutes, even though it's a committee report, because it requires people to vote. And hopefully it won't take too long tonight to get through this. While Tom's pulling that up, were there any questions about the bylaw changes that were presented to you last month? If so, raise your hand and we can try to address it tonight. Okay.
Don Lowry is recognized. His hand is up.
Yeah, I don't have a question so much as a comment. Hopefully these are divided because I'll be voting against the change for 3.02 for one reason. As written, it includes our elected members, and I'm very uncomfortable taking the vote away from people who were elected by the voters. So I'll be voting no for that purpose because our elected members represent the Democrats of Solano County directly. So that's why I'll be voting against that particular provision.
Could we ask for amendments at this point? If Dawn, you have
if you want to tack on at the end, I need to see 3.2 because I think ex officios are in that part. I mean, 3.1 that says who's a member. And I think the thinking of the committee was that their representative would pay the dues, not necessarily the elected.
Now, if I may, the language says all provisions shall apply equally to every member. Dues shall be paid annually. A member who has late dues is considered not in good standing, and therefore would members who are not in good standing would not have the right to vote.
Right. Okay. I see your point. All right. So I don't see any other hands, so we're ready to go ahead and put up the poll.
Stop sharing.
Okay, can you explain that? Because I don't get what exactly the issue is.
With the ex officio. So he's saying what he would like. I mean, I would entertain a motion to tack on at the end, excluding the ex officios.
Well, excluding the elected members.
Yeah, just
not ex officios, excluding ex officios.
Well, we're all elected, so that's why I'm saying the people you're speaking of are like the senators, the assembly.
No, I'm speaking of the people who were elected directly by the voters.
The legislators.
That is counter to what we're asking. We're asking anybody that's a member of the Central Committee to pay the dues. So yes, I'm an elected person and I'm expected to pay dues.
Right, but I just have a problem taking the vote of someone who represents voters away.
Okay, so now I'm clear. I'm glad I explored that a little bit more. In every other central committee, all electeds pay dues as a part of being part of the central committee, and you are not considered in good standing if you have not paid your dues. So when votes come up, you don't get to vote. So that was the point of putting that in there and clarifying. So thank you for clarifying what you meant. I thought you meant by like the assembly person, the congressional people, but I'm good with it as it is. Okay, so please display the poll so that we can vote and move the agenda.
And if anyone needs me to scroll through the document.
Jeanette's hands up, but the voting, how long? The voting will stay up for however long.
So we do it a minute per thing, but this is like 10 things.
I would say 30 seconds per, so 10,
okay, so like 2 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes. Jeanette, your hand is up.
Well, I just wanted to know if that clarified it for other people. So the way I understand it is Don was thinking that we shouldn't take the vote away from people. You're saying everyone does it. That's how people do it, and people can vote how they wish on that amendment,
Exactly.
on that bylaw.
Right, because there was no
right
amendment to it.
So then are we voting on all of them right now, or are we just voting on these first two?
They're all on there. You have to scroll down your ballot.
So I didn't know if there were any questions on any of the other ones before we launched the poll.
Yeah, we're kind of. I mean, I read over everything and I had no objections to what I had read previously. So it would be
everyone. We are voting. You said number 3. What is number 3 on the ballot? Tom.
Espinosa's asking for explanation.
Yeah. Scroll down, Tom.
Can you see the poll as people are voting?
You can scroll down yourself.
I cannot scroll down on
it's changing. It's just taking out direct and putting out presidential. So that's what number 3 is. You can explain the difference between presidential and direct.
I'm displaying the poll as people are voting. Can you see that?
No.
You have to scroll down the ballot. I can scroll and see that there are 6 different questions.
So
I think Jeanette was wanting the bylaws to be.
No, I want everything off the screen. That's what I want. Because Tom's saying that the poll is showing how how the vote is going. Is that correct, Tom?
Yeah, but it's not being, I put it on the same screen
Okay, so you
as
need to
everything else, and it's,
take the minutes down of the meeting.
so now do you just see a
We see,
road in beautiful fall colors?
yes, we do.
So I also have on that same screen the poll,
It's not
but
showing.
it's, yeah, so Zoom is like not doing it.
Well, I can see the poll.
No,
but-
you can see your ballot is basically what you can see.
Yeah.
Bonnie.
Right, I can
I
see it
have-
too.
Let me stop sharing and see if there's an option to share. Just that. Hold
I had
on
a
one
question about, I had a question about number 4.
Go ahead.
Can you read where the deemed is in, because I wasn't able to.
What's
see
your
that.
question?
Where does that, I mean, what does it change in?
We had presidential. Are you talking about the deemed?
Yeah, that was what I wanted.
It's when
That-
we're electing a new
are you gonna
new
explain-
representative, a new delegate from one of the supervisorial districts.
I see. So what, so why are we taking deemed out?
Because you're nominated. We have to see if you want you. So like when we lost Karen, it said deemed nominated and people were confused about who was the nominee. So when we took that out, you're the current delegate, whoever's the alternate who's ever in there is nominated automatically. And they have to decide, do they want the nomination or not? Because they can decline the nomination. They may want to just be the alternate. And then that requires additional voting of that delegation of the supervisors.
All right, thank you for clarifying that. That
Sure.
made it clear.
I also uploaded this file that I'm displaying into the chat, so if someone needs to download it, it's there. Can you see the poll now?
Nope.
It just won't let me show it.
So
So you see the bylaw change stuff?
that's what we see are the minutes from the bylaws.
And on my end, I've got that poll right over it.
I've already submitted it, so if you've already submitted it, it's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
That's why I said I've
But
submitted it already.
what I'm showing is the voting as it's happening, so it's not.
My poll disappeared and I didn't vote on it. I don't know where it went. It's gone.
Check.
It might be under a window because the poll is still running. But if you click submit at the bottom, you're done.
No, I didn't click submit and it isn't under any window. It's gone. I don't know where it is.
I could suggest that we relaunch the poll or relaunch, because I think that, I mean,
Nancy, try hitting Alt Tab.
I've been on the internet longer than half the people here have been alive. I cannot find it. It is not on my screen. It's gone.
And I'll just say that if you're an alternate and your person's here, then only the member would fill it out.
That's correct. And I'm an alternate and Michelle is not here, so I'm
Right.
voting for Michelle, right?
Right.
So I need another poll because it's not here.
I can't, if I relaunch the poll, it relaunches it for everyone.
That would be
Can you-
right.
Can you do me a favor and just hit Alt Tab and see if you see it in the list of open?
Did that work, Nancy?
It is not there.
Okay, so Tom, I'm going to ask you to stop sharing everything.
Okay.
Don, I'm sorry, real quick. Do you have another follow-up question? Because your hand is still raised. All right, thank you.
Sorry about that.
And so, Nancy, do you know how you want to vote so we can gather your vote?
Yeah, but I just, normally are they all identified?
Well,
Yes.
in the state, in California Democratic Party, all votes are public.
Yeah, and we,
Roll call
it's
on this.
assigned to
The
your
ballot just goes
name in the
faster.
back end.
Right.
Okay. So if you could put up each of the items, I mean, I would say close the poll down, and then we're going to add Nancy or anybody else that didn't get to vote to the totals.
And where is, I have to send it to the host?
Well, you can put it in chat if you want to. You can just
Or
say,
you can do by acclamation.
Yeah, so I'll send you, I guess it'll just go to the host.
Okay, so in the polling, everyone's voted that needed to, or they're going to vote in chat. Okay. All right, so, okay, so we have Nancy's vote. Anyone else need to vote?
it doesn't look like it.
Okay, so I'm going to share the poll results. So,
Looks like everything passed.
yeah, even with Nancy's vote, we still have a passage.
Okay, thank you. Can you capture that, please?
It's already captured on the back end, but you want me to
Okay.
screenshot it?
Yeah. Well, if you have it, that's fine. That's all I need is that we just
Yeah, no, it's recorded in the system.
okay, because
And I
Jeanette.
sent it to Jeanette.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody. Thank you for doing your homework to be ready to vote tonight. And we're going to have to do a better job of making sure how we get the votes move forward. But just an FYI, all the votes that occur in the Democratic Party are public. So like even like this past election that happened this weekend, I mean, over the last couple of weeks for officers, if I want to see how, Lynette Henley voted, I can ask, can you pull Lynette's vote? And I can see how she voted on each one of the candidates. So it's kind of different than most times. So there you go. But thank you so much. And I think the bylaws committee has a couple of more things to do, and we'll get to them in the near future. So thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Lynette. Club coordination. Oh, Jeanette.
I just want to jump in there that we, passed the thing on the bylaws, and I did send a link, on the dues, and I did send a link earlier this week so that you can pay your dues online. So that's, if you didn't see that it's up there.
All right, thank you. Club coordination, do you have a report tonight?
Yes, we do. The Club Coordination Committee began the process of adapting the handbook of the San Diego Democratic Party Central Committee for the use by the Solano County Democratic Party Central Committee. The members who attended the meeting are working their way through the document and making necessary modifications. The document is quite long, and the members address sections that detailed forming a Democratic club, how to address financial issues, bylaw formation and adherence, establishing standing committees, and fundraising activities. The Club Coordination Committee will continue to go through the document at their monthly meetings and hope to be able to submit the finished document to the Bylaws Committee in a few months. And I must say that if you are a club representative and you have not been able to join us, please join us, because me, myself, and I am learning so much from my other colleagues, and I don't always know the fine print of club coordination, but we share a lot of great ideas, and there's so many, that, like I said, so much fine print to all of this that it's very, very educational. So please join us. Thank you.
Lynette, you're recognized. Your hand's up.
Thank you. And I want to echo what I saw in the chat. Thank you to Mona and Jeannie for the work that you're doing. And I will be submitting to you a template for the minimum of what minutes should look like, and something so that people can look for. There's a link in the cadence of what bylaws should it contain, so that as you're building that booklet, and we give that to groups that are interested in joining or starting a club, they will at least have that in addition to our bylaws, so that they'll be able to be ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you. The clubs are the heart and soul of the Democratic Party, so I'm really pleased that you're working together. Next, we have the Code of Conduct Committee, Rhonda Smith and Leilani Cressida.
Leilani should be reporting. She's actually chair, I'm co-chair.
Yeah, I submitted a written report. So the next meeting will be on Monday, and we've already started working on the draft of the Code of Conduct. So the next thing would be further edits, and then bringing like test cases and test scenarios to see if it's covered in the Code of Conduct or if we need to add anything additional.
Lynette, you're recognized.
Thank you. And I just want to share, this is my regional director's hat. I've been working with a central committee that, just because of a member continuously violating their bylaws and their code of conduct, that person has been removed from being a delegate, and they were actually an elected delegate. So they no longer met the criteria of being part of the, being able to hold an office. And so they can still come to the meetings, but as a Democrat, but they will not have that status of a delegate. And so it's a serious matter. And I think more and more central committees are looking at people that are abusing the state bylaws, their local bylaws, and just being disruptive to the work of the Democratic Party. And so it is becoming more and more serious, because we have people that are disruptors that are keeping us from moving forward as an organization or as a group to make sure that Democrats are elected and are in place. And as Margie said earlier, that we're working together, we're all on the same page, as opposed to tearing down people that are trying to do the work of the party. So it's a serious matter, and I want to just thank that committee as they're moving forward. Thank you.
If you could let me know the name of that central committee, I'd like to see their code of conduct.
Yeah, well, they have a whole I'll get that to you, Leilani. I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fundraiser Committee, Vernil and Tiffany.
Yes, so first I want to say thank you for all the people that came out and supported us of our endeavors. It was a great night. I think it was fun. We had a wonderful night. I want to give special thanks to Tiffany and Tom for their technical expertise and getting us through that with the Zoom, and very little complications, if any. I didn't know of any, but thank you. I also want to thank Jeanette and Marge for their support. Their moral support got us through as well. I want to thank that. Bridget and Deborah Dixon, Tanya Young and Morgan, just as the committee, the second committee that evolved. I want to say thank you to them, because without working as a team, it would not have come together as well. We'll have a wrap-up meeting on May 6th, because I don't have the figures as to how much money we made, but we did make a chunk of change, I'll put it that way. But I'll have that information after we do our wrap-up meeting on May 6th. But thank you all. Tiffany?
Yeah, I actually have some approximate figures. So again, we wanted to give the committee an exact itemized report. So we're gonna meet again as to finalize everything, and then present to the entire committee what the funds are. So from the Act Blue donations, we received $2,962.99. Our silent auction, thank you to all the clubs, first of all, because you're in all the electeds that donated. These baskets were fabulous. All of the donated items really were really quality items. So from the silent auction, we collected $2,420. And thank you so much to all of our sponsors. So Congressman Garamendi gave $1,000 and was recognized for that. So we thank him for pitching in. We also had the Better Health Group. Thank you so much, Morgan. They gave us a sponsorship of $1,200. And then we had our favorite people. We love our teachers. CTA gave us $650 towards the event for a estimated grand total of $8,232.99. This is all an estimate. Like I said, we want to go ahead and try to.
Great.
We want to.
Good job. Good job.
And the best part is, best part is, no one got crabs.
I just
And
want.
how much did it cost us, Tiffany? I mean, that was almost like just more blood, sweat, and tears, I guess.
I think it really only cost us like maybe $150, $200 to do this.
For the Facebook promotion.
The digital format, yes.
So yeah,
But I
we
just
read.
wanna-
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to put a reminder that our next event for the clubs, awards banquet. So identify your Democrats of the Year. That's the next event in the fall. I just want to put that on your mind.
So again, and I do want to touch on the distribution of the auction items. If you can just give me until next week to wrap my brain around that, to help out, I will be more than happy to communicate with the entire committee. I got 25 different things happening at one time. I needed a break from this auction just to kind of this event to kind of decompress. But again, thank you guys so very much. We finally made some money, as a committee, and I look forward to taking everybody else's money in the fall as well.
Okay.
Wait, I want my wine.
And Madam Chair, I have my hand up.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask if anyone knows how much do we make generally from the crab feed? How does this compare? And also, I have to give a shout out to our two vice chairs. They've done a great job, and everyone else who's been involved.
Thank you, Bonnie. I heard just a ballpark figure in the previous years, the crab fees brought in $10,000.
And remember with the crab fee, remember with the crab fee, we have to pay out a lot of money to vendors and to rent the space, advertisement, and so we were on time and under budget, way under budget. So this might be a thing, you guys. Who knows what you guys want to do?
So there's a question. What's the net? The 8,000 she's telling us about.
So this is an estimate. We just got, figures. So it looks like we made $8,232.99. And that includes the Act Blue sales of the tickets, the silent auction, which is a separate entity, and then the sponsorships. I hope that answered the question. But again, we'll have a more detailed report for you guys next month. We just needed to take a minute to get everything and take a break. So yeah. But start thinking about your the fall, because we have one more to put up.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ladies. That was great. And retreat committee, Leilani.
I sent a written report. The written report also includes a poll. The issue that we had was the majority of the people who are sitting in the committee are fairly new. So we just want to make sure that we capture the values or the areas that in the retreat that the majority of the membership would want to attend or want covered. So it's the poll is in the retreat report. So please give us your input. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. I saw that poll. So you click on the link and it'll pop up. So you can give input.
I will also put it in the chat.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now I spoke with Bridget Hunley about the audit committee, and they're going to be having another meeting next month, and they are still collecting material. So there wasn't anything to report today. On the headquarters, Bridget, she wasn't able to be here tonight because of the convention. She's on.
Oh.
Bridget, do you want to say anything about the headquarters?
Sorry, I'm on and off. As also mentioned, my daughter's got COVID, so I'm hopping on and off here. But yeah, I just wanted to announce that we are taking volunteers for the Reject the Recall effort. And if anyone's interested in helping with that, we are taking volunteers immediately. So please message me and I'll add you to our list for upcoming trainings, and we're getting going ASAP. So.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on. So to stop the Republican recall, we'll all be getting more information about this at the convention. There's a session on that, so we'll be watching for that. Plus, anybody who wants to get started right now can get a hold of Bridget. They've got something going already. Okay, moving on, AB 20, Political Reform Act. Timothy presented this last month, and the e-board decided that to present it as an item, so we can decide if we would like to back this act, AB 20. And that's the one that Jeanette sent at the last minute, although we talked about it before. Timothy, do you want to explain it a little bit?
Madam Chair, do you want me to show it?
Yeah, oh, you have, okay, that's right. Let's look at it.
Absolutely. And I just posted the link in the chat too.
Okay. Okay, so here we go.
Absolutely. So this is our fact sheet. AB 20 is the Corporate Free Elections Act from Assemblymember Alex Lee, who I'm currently interning for. What this bill looks to do is to ban donations from corporations to candidates running for office throughout California. This legislation has already been passed in 22 other states, as well as for federal campaigns. And some of those states are like Massachusetts and Connecticut, as well as Oklahoma and Texas, so a wide variety of states. And as you can see, the supporters, they're plentiful. We have the Contra Costa and the Alameda Democratic parties, as well as the Orange County, San Diego, and LA Democratic parties, as well as interest groups like the Harvey Milk LGBTQ Club, Democratic Club, and as well as the Sierra Club. There's other environmental groups on the list as well. And it's a pretty uncontroversial piece of legislation in terms of democratic values. We all have seen what campaign finance has turned into since Citizens United. And this doesn't get rid of PACs and super PACs, but it pushes back that a little bit by making sure we can't have these direct corporate contributions. That's the summary of it.
Well, I move that we support it.
Who just moved? Margie, did you just move?
Bonnie Hamilton.
Thank you, Bonnie.
I second it.
All right, can we get?
Oh, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I don't see any hands, Marge.
So if there's no discussion, we can call for the vote.
Pat, did you have a question?
Wait a minute, let me, okay. I guess what I just want to say, this sounds like a great bill and I endorse it 100% just by what I've read of it. So I'm just encouraging everybody to do this. We need a lot of the corporate money out of our elections.
Okay. Thomas, do we have a poll on this one?
In just a moment. For those of you here, please vote yay, nay, or abstain. So we know that we have everyone voting.
I put my vote in the chat.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we have endorsed it. 23 members voted for it.
Okay, thank you. And I'll be sending a letter to the bill sponsor. Next is AB 650, Healthcare Worker Recognition and Retention Act. And Joe Summers is here if anyone has any questions. It did go out to everyone before the meeting.
Are you asking me to speak on it, Margie?
Well, maybe you could just say a few words to get, so
Yeah,
everyone knows what they're voting on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or
Well,
talking
first of all, today is Workers' Memorial Day. So in the labor movement, it's one of our sacred holidays where we remember the lives of everyone that has lost their lives at the work site. So this year has been extremely taxing on all of us, but for our healthcare workers and a lot of first responders and the frontline workers, you know, this has really been a year where, you know, this has taken its toll. COVID has, you know, taken a lot of toll on everybody, especially our healthcare workers. And that's what this bill is trying to give some support for. These workers have, you know, struggled at, you know, with increased loads at the hospital. They have to do a whole bunch more work to make sure that no one gets COVID. And it's time that we recognize their support and recognize that they have done all this work for us with this retention bonus that, you know, AB 650 will provide. So this is something, you know, we all call them, you know, heroes, and now it's the time to really act and, you know, back it up and provide them with a bonus.
Jeanette, your hand is up.
Right.
Jeanette, your hand is up.
Recognized?
Yes, I just wanted to let Rhonda Smith speak.
Okay.
So I see that she's got her hand up, so I'll turn it over to Rhonda.
Rhonda, you've been recognized through the chair.
Thank you, Jeanette, for following up for me in case I wasn't able to make it. The concern I have with this bill is that it does not cover public hospitals. Your public hospitals are your safety net hospitals throughout the counties. They're typically employees that are not paid at the same rate as private hospitals. So there is an imbalance and inequity with regards to this bonus. I am a public hospital employee and find it actually pretty insulting that only private hospitals are being considered for this legislation. So I would ask that you vote no.
Can I address that real quick?
Joe, you've been recognized.
Thank you, Vernil. I would just say that with this bill, I did see the Hospital Association link that you shared, and I'm, you know, gobsmacked that, you know, the Hospital Association is opposing this. And yeah, you're right, that there are people that deserve hazard pay and a retention bonus all across the frontline workers. They all deserve this, and we should be fighting for everyone else. But I would not put, you know, good as the enemy of the perfect. Or so this is a bill where we can really give a sector of our frontline workers a bonus, and this is our opportunity to actually do something. And if we want to lobby that this gets you know, expanded, it's still in committees. We can go to the appropriations and fight to expand it. I will be there with you, sister, if that's what we want to do. But this is our opportunity to show these workers that have worked so hard to that we appreciate them. And a lot of them are struggling and are leaving the industry. This is something that will keep our industry strong for the next pandemic that comes around and put us on a good playing field.
Bonnie, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, if we did choose, like, it didn't pass a support vote, could we amend it or ask for a support if amended? We would support it if it were amended to include, all those workers, but, just a thought. I don't know what the process of that would be, but it's just something to consider if we come up with a no vote.
Lynette?
I think at this point, the bill is in process, and so we can say we are supporting it currently. We'd like to see these changes added to the bill. Please contact us to, for further. It's not a done deal, so I would ask that we support moving forward on this bill as a yes, and that we also put that we are supporting it with these reservations and put what our reservations are. And I think the pieces that have been brought forward are very good pieces that the legislator needs to be cognizant of as they move forward.
Pat, you're being recognized. Your hand. Okay.
Yeah, my hand was up, and I like what Lynette said. I agree. The healthcare workers need to be recognized, and this would be a really good bill to help that. And I do think, adding to it what Lynette said is very helpful. So I think we should put it for a vote.
I don't see any other hands. Did I miss anyone?
I don't see any hands or any other comments in the chat.
Is there a motion?
I'll go ahead and motion.
Dawn's, I saw Dawn's hand up for a second.
Oh,
I didn't see. It's not raised now.
I don't see it.
Dawn, did you want to contribute something? Comment?
Actually, I was going to, yeah, I did have a question. I'm sorry. I was reading the bill itself. Where's the funding for this coming from? Is it coming from the employer? Is it coming from the state? And if it's from the employer, does that mean that they're ultimately going to be raising our insurance rates?
So I would say it is on the employers, and despite this pandemic, I think the information that you've been given has shown that each one of these entities that are providing private care are making billions of dollars, and this is something that they can pay for. If they choose to, they're going to charge you what they think that they can get away with. That is how this works. So I think that if let's just cut into their billions and billions of dollars that they have not spent on workers that they should have been doing since the beginning.
If I may.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom. Finish.
Yeah, I think perhaps if we write a letter of support, we may also ask Marisucci to consult with Commissioner Laura to encourage him to oppose price gouging in the event that this passes.
Bonnie?
Yeah, I just wanted to say maybe that's the rub with the public hospitals, is that they don't have as much money as the private hospitals. So, there might not be the resources there through the public hospitals. So that might be where an issue might come up.
So is there a motion?
And nor do we have the opportunity to refuse service.
This is Lynette. I move the support of AB 20.
AB 650.
Thank you.
Second.
And that we, when we send our letter, that we add the things that we've talked about.
I think Don Lowry seconded that. I heard his voice.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? All right. We'll vote.
Tiffany, can you put your vote in chat? Oh. Oh, that's your vote. Okay, gonna end the polling. Has everyone voted? So the support passes with the as the motion was made. So it's 25 and 1. But I'll send you the Excel sheet.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have the Young Dems, and Hannah Hunley was planning to make a report. I think everyone heard that from Brigitte that Hannah has come down with COVID. She was volunteering with Shot Clinic and managed to, is quite ill. So I have a message from Brigitte, unless Brigitte is still here and would like to say it herself. And the message is that the Young Dems are going to the convention and they would like all young Democrats to join them. And you can go to the CUID website and be part of the convention with the Young Dems. So I typed up the announcements that I have. Sometimes I forget to say things. So, and Miguel did send us a nice note, and I'm so glad to see him here tonight. You can see some other correspondence that we got. And is there anyone else have an announcement to make?
I just wanted to say, I hope everyone has gotten or is getting their COVID vaccine. I've gotten mine and it has really made, kind of eased my own level of concern. So if anybody has any questions, you can reach out to me, but get your vaccine and we'll open up more and more.
Don Lowry.
Yeah, I just want to say for those of you who did not have a chance to see it, that the president gave a great speech tonight. Watch it on C-SPAN when you have a chance. And I think he's doing an amazing job considering the stresses he's under. So that's my pitch to support our president.
Hear, hear.
Matthew?
I was actually literally about to say the same thing that Don was. And so, yeah,
better thing there. But I guess instead, I can pivot really quickly and just say that, COVID is going to come to a close. We're going to open up and hope that the Solano County Democrats will open back up with a bang. I think it's important to just be like on, on the ball there and be at the beginning, at the very beginning of when people are coming out of this long hibernation, to really be there for our community. I know events are non-trivial. I know that they're no joke, but anything we can do to signify our presence to the community, it's something that I'd like us to think about and maybe suggest examining what it's going to mean when COVID is over and we get out of lockdown and we can start doing public events and what that could look like. Because I think we should be out front of that.
Thank you. Lynette's hand was next.
Jerry Castanon's hands up, so I'll go to Jerry and then to me because I don't think he can do the thingy.
What thingy?
Okay, can you hear me?
Raise.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I watched that. The speech tonight was fantastic. He made me proud. I'm so happy and excited that he's in there. It just felt so good inside. I'm sure all of y'all felt the same if you were able to see that tonight. But he hit a grand slam. Nothing but praises for him, and proud to be a Democrat. And it's fantastic. One thing to share with you guys, I was able to have a conversation with Biden back in 2015, I believe, on Monterey, if I'm not mistaken. I've got a photo with him, and we did talk about a few things, and here in talked about my town here in Dixon, and of course the Knights of Columbus, because of course he supports the Knights as a Catholic and so forth. But we had a great conversation, and it was probably about 3 to 4 minutes. And I just want to say it felt real good when he was speaking. It was really personal. It felt fantastic. But he hit a grand slam tonight, you guys. If you haven't watched it, watch it. You'll sleep well tonight.
Okay, Lynette, do you want your turn back?
Thank you. This is my regional director's hat. We have a lot of work to do as we move forward with the recall of our governor. And there are going to be Democrats that are not happy with Gavin, but your alternative will be a Republican or possibly an independent. So I'm asking you to think about it. If you're having difficulty with Gavin, he has a lot of deficits moving with him, not just from Republicans, but from Democrats, especially the African-American community that were not happy with his appointment for Kamala. So that's kind of a hill we're going to push up and understand that there are a lot of African-Americans that are still kind of hurting from that. But Barbara Lee and all of the delegation are saying we got to move past that and keep moving. And so we have to think about that. So as we move forward and we have our coordinated plan from the Democratic Party that will be being laid out, our central committees chairs will be coming together, and then our clubs, and there's work to be done. It's a new election. They haven't given us the date yet, but whenever it hits the ground, we need to be ready to go. So go, Gavin. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I see Susan George, your hand's up.
My hand was up.
Oh, I saw Susan. I'm sorry.
I'll be very brief. I mean, I'm sure it's no mystery to anyone that tomorrow the convention begins, and it's, there's been a lot of divisiveness with the officer elections, but they've been confirmed, and I just want to say how important it is for our party, that our state party, that we come together. There's so much at stake with what Lynette was just talking about. I also want to say that I want to thank Lynette and our region for supporting pieces of legislation that are so important, as well as a resolution that I put forward that is all about, one of the pieces of legislation is about hate crimes against all communities, Asian Americans, Jews, African Americans. It's a very powerful bill that's going to strengthen hate crimes reporting and training. And that's coming to the legislation committee for endorsement by the party, as well as 2 very important police reform bills. One is SB 2, which is about the ability to decertify police that are accused of that are found guilty of significant misconduct. And another is to make police records much more transparent. So there's so much that we can do as delegates, as central committee members. And I know, I'm just going to say it, there have been issues about coming together, but there's so much at stake, and I hope that we will. And I look forward to working together with all of you and with all the delegates.
Tom?
Yes, I just wanted to let folks know that we are, as Solano Pride and Stonewall, we are reaching out to city councils and other organizations in the county about Pride proclamations and flying the Pride flag in June. We are buying new flags for people that are inclusive of our Black and brown and trans folks that we have in our community. So we're replacing the traditional Pride flag with a new flag that's called the Inclusivity flag. So be on the lookout for that. And we will be coming to Solano County Democratic Central Committee next month to issue a proclamation.
Okay, anyone else? I see no more hands. Am I overlooking anyone that wants to speak? Okay, Marge, look like it's back in your hands. That's the chair.
All right. We are going to be adjourning in solidarity with our Jewish siblings. I want you to remember what I read earlier and what Matthew said. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Who moved and seconded? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Okay. Good night. Thank you for coming. Thank you for working hard as Democrats.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Be well.
Good night, Bonnie.
Okay, see you at the convention.
All
Yeah,
right.
see you at the convention. Hey, John.
Good night,
Oh, see you
Tiffany.
at the convention. And I'm going to go watch the president now.
Still works, that our government still works and we can deliver for our people
They look so good back there.
together.
They are beautiful.
Beautiful. Democracy to deliver. We're vaccinating the
About
nation.
time.
We're creating hundreds of thousands of new jobs. We're delivering real results to people. They can see it, feel it in their own lives. Opening doors of opportunity, guaranteeing some more fairness and justice. That's the essence of America. That's democracy in action. Our Constitution opens with the words, as trite as it sounds, we the people. Well, it's time to remember that we the people are the government. You and I. Not some force in a distant capital. Not some powerful force that we have no control over. It's us. It's we the people. In another era, when our democracy was tested, Franklin Roosevelt reminded us, in America, we do our part. We all do our part. That's all I'm asking. That we do our part, all of us. And if we do that, we will meet the center challenge of the age by proving that democracy is durable and strong. Autocrats will not win the future. We will. America will. And the future belongs to America. As I stand here tonight before you in a new and vital hour of life and democracy of our nation, and I can say with absolute confidence, I have never been more confident or optimistic about America. Not because I'm president, because of what's happening with the American people. We've stared into the abyss of insurrection and autocracy, pandemic and pain, and we, the people, did not flinch. At the very moment our adversaries were certain we'd pull apart and fail, we came together, we united. With light and hope, we summoned a new strength, new resolve to position us to win the competition of the 21st century. On our way to a union more perfect, more prosperous, and more just, as one people, one nation, and one America. Folks, as I told every world leader I've ever met with over the years, it's never, ever, ever been a good bet to bet against America, and it still isn't. We're the United States of America. There's not a single thing, nothing beyond our capacity We can do whatever we set our minds to if we do it together. So let's begin to get together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you for your patience.
All right, with that, folks, we will end it here. I thought that was a good part to show. Have a great night.
You too, Tom. Thanks for everything. You did a great job.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. That was powerful. Good ending.
Yep.
Good night, everyone. See you next month.
Good night.
Thanks.
Good night, John
Bye.
Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen.
Bye.